Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Stoff Graphics. Hope you're doing well. This will be my first video on this channel. I wanted to do something that was more recognizable and just fun. So I'm doing Davion from Dota 2, or Dota Dragon's Blood, the anime. With wanting to get the anatomy right, I chose an existing piece already just to get the foreshortening right and not really having to struggle with the entire sketching process. I usually struggle with anatomy, but it's mostly hands. But I think I'm getting better with, getting a lot of studying and practicing those parts that I'm not really attuned to, but I mean that's most artists anyway. With the red, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to commit to certain design ideas, so I decided to do that, but in reality I kind of did stick with most of the ideas. The only thing that really changed was the cape, as you'll see later on, but for the most part everything that I did draw on the red I didn't really change. Here I'm going in to make the sword. Really, I'm not confident in my object creation. I've kind of slacked on that, but for the most part, getting that overall idea, I think I did pretty good on that. I just wanted to get the scale of the head correct, so I just wanted to resize the head and rotate it a little just to get the actual perfect medium. I also went over my sketch just to get it a little cleaner from some tutorials and some artists that I know. They said that going over your sketch to get a cleaner one over and over gets the best result, so that's what I kind of do here. With the background, I wasn't really sure where to put Davion, since in his pose it looks like he's in the air, but really you can't really gauge how high he is. So with what I have, I decided to go for a more airborne look, as if he's coming from the top of the sky in his cool action-y pose or something. But this background does go through a bit of change. now we're off to line art. Something I should have done first was definitely the line art. Doing the color first was not the best idea. After all, the line art could shift. So the amount of work I have to do to switch the color to fit inside that line art was a very tedious thing. And I also add the holes that were in his cape. In my reference images, I didn't really notice that he had damage to his cape. So that was definitely a good thing that I remembered to get the image of Davion. Here I actually figured out how to rotate my canvas. Definitely something useful. I should have looked it up I don't know how long ago. But some things that I do struggle with the sword are the lines. For some reason I can't get them straight enough. I think that I rotate it enough to like match the angle, but apparently I don't. So I do have to transform that a bit for the tip and also just a couple other edits. Here I use the smudge tool just to move those colors inside the line art to have an easier time while doing the coloring process. I forget to add in the wrapping around his sword hilt, so I just add that in and starting on shading the hair, there wasn't really that much to do, so shading it was pretty easy. Shading the armor was another thing that I sort of struggled with. For the fact that they were in the same layer, I was trying not to get the same shading on each color, but for the most part I think I did pretty good shading those. With the shading of the cape, I do get a little bit confused since both the chest piece and the cape are the same color, but I do get a hang of lassoing around the cape to use the gradient. And time for the shading of the sword. I do have a little bit of trouble with how I control the gradient. Some of the times it does get that perfect white sheen, but it's not enough for the blade to show that light reflecting off of it. So I do have trial and error around that. And now shading for the eyes. I do fix the right one. It does look a little side-eyed, so I do fix the way he's looking. And as I mentioned, I fix up the background using the gradient tool. It wasn't really meshing well with what I had, so I do use the gradient tool to make it a little bit more sunset-like. And here's the final speed paint. If you like what you saw, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and please comment down below what you'd like to see for next speed paint. If you'd like to support me, please be sure to use that Ko-fi link down below. Hope you all have an amazing day, and good day, and bye.